Okay, so our one of the main aim of this workshop is to help those countries who has not developed their NIP or they didn't update their NIP to help them or how we can update or how we can develop or how we can review this NIP development. So I will start with a brief history of Stockholm Convention. The Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants, which was adopted in May 2001 and entered into force in May 2004. The objective of the objective of the Stockholm Convention is protecting human health and the environment from persistent organic pollutants, and parties to the Stockholm Convention are required to develop national implementation plan to demonstrate how the obligation of the convention will be implemented and to review and update their NIP as appropriate periodically and to address new obligation under the conventions. So the Stockholm Convention requires the development, review and updating of national implementation plan as detailed below. First one is obligation contained in the Article 7 of the convention. Then identification of the need to review and update national implementation plans pursuant to Article 7. Output, primary responsibility, stakeholders, who and why. Then first one, obligation. Each party shall to develop and endeavor to implement a plan for the implementation of its obligation under this convention. Transmit its implementation plan to the conference of party within 2 years of the date on which this convention enters into force. Review and update as appropriate its implementation plan on a periodic basis and in a manner to be specified by decision of the conference of the parties. The parties shall, where appropriate, cooperate directly or through global, regional and sub-regional organization and consult their national stakeholders, including women's group and groups involved in the health of children, in order to facilitate the development, implementation and updating of their implementation plan. The party shall endeavor to utilize and where necessary establish the means to integrate national implementation plans for persistent organic pollutants in their sustainable development strategies where appropriate. Then identification of the needs to review and update their national plan. A number of factors can lead to need to review and update the NIP. Each party should regularly assess whether it is affected Each party should regularly assess whether it is affected by an external or internal factors such as those referred to in paragraph 4 and 5 of the annex to the decision Stockholm Convention 1 by 12. First one, external factors, changes in obligation, which arising from the amendments to the convention or its annexes, including the addition of chemicals like either to Annex A or B or C. Then decision of the conference of parties. That may affect how parties implement convention obligation, including adoption of guidance or guidelines. Then changes in the availability of technical or financial assistance and changes in access to infrastructure external to the parties. Then internal factors, reporting under Article 15 of the convention indicating that the party's implementation plan is not adequate, a change in national priorities, a significant change in national circumstances, inventories of persistent organic pollutants after improvement or updating indicating a change in the scope of the problem to be addressed. Then output. Since the NIP will reflect the circumstances found in each country, it is not possible to specify exactly the level of detail needed in every cases because it will depend upon the countries to country. A NIP that meets the obligation of Stockholm Convention in a manner consistent with the needs and priorities of the party and resources available to the party. Then primary responsibility.
سلامك، تفضل تفضل.
A
لا
national
عادي، أمور
lead.
طيبة. أمور طيبة الحمد لله. كيف حالك أنت؟ طيبة؟
Excuse me.
الحمد لله
Excuse
رب
me.
العالمين.
Someone has
لا
not.
نكمل شهر.
Hello. Someone has not
إيه؟
muted their mic.
طبق ثاني لا؟
Please mute the mic.
ايوه بنزوركم ان شاء الله.
هشام لو سمحت.
الله يجزاك. اي قسم قديم؟
هشام.
الجودة لا؟
هشام.
الجودة وش هي حالي غلط هناك ما اعرف شيء. وش انتوا تسووا هنا؟ بتاع كله؟ كل شيء يعني. ايوه.
Hisham, could you please Hisham, could you
لا
please
شيء.
mute your mic? Hello.
هي كل عين تو اذا سوي التماس ولا شيء انا دايك معرض للموت راني.
ياسر.
Yes.
ياسر.
شوفي.
Yes sir.
ياسر you can close from
علق
your
الفاضي
side.
كذا.
You can close.
Okay. 1 minute.
شوفي زين خلاص بلغيهم ايوه. هي من شهر انا كذا. الحمد لله الحمد لله كلها الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Sorry for the interruption. Okay, we will back to the slide. The primary responsibility. A national lead agency would be designated to take responsibility in order for setting up the structure and mechanism to develop, review, and update the NIP. Then enhanced coordination at the national level to resolve issues and obstacles to progress should also be integrated. Then the structure and mechanisms established should include institutionalizing a regular review and updating of the NIP and stock taking of progress on NIP implementation irrespective of an external trigger. Then who will be the stakeholders and why? The POPs issue impacts on many sectors, including policy making, law making, environmental protection, agriculture, public health, industry, and the private sector. So to develop, review, or update and implement an effective and successful NIP, a wide range of stakeholders must be involved and engaged in the process. The following list indicates some of the main groups like government policy makers, government officials, NGOs, regional economic integration zone partners, international environmental organizations. So now we are moving to the process of establishing a NIP. For this, we have like sub 5 categories. First one is establishment of a coordinating mechanism and organization process. The second one, establishment of POPs inventories and assessment of national infrastructure and capacity. Third one, priority assessment and objective setting. Fourth one, formulation of the NIP, and the fifth one, endorsement and submission of the NIP. Then the phase 1, the establishment of coordinating mechanism and organization process. The successful development, review, or updating of a NIP requires that an effective project planning and management structure be put in place. If a party is preparing its first NIP, in some cases already we have maybe like a chemical management system we already prepared. So we can use that chemical management system into this NIP development. For NIP reviewing and updating, making use of mechanisms and structures already established for developing the initial NIP should facilitate and accelerate this phase of the process. So the major objectives for this to raise awareness within governmental department, ministries, and agencies of the POPs issue, the Stockholm Convention, and new POPs added to the convention, and the need to develop, review, or update a NIP. To begin or continue the process of raising awareness of POPs issue with stakeholders outside government, to achieve sufficient political commitment to enable the successful development, review, or updating of a NIP, to establish a structure and mechanism for planning, managing, and supervising the development, review, or updating of the NIP, to produce a detailed project plan for the development, review, or updating of the NIP, then to plan, initiate, and sustain an information dissemination campaign. Then who will be the primary responsibility? Always national lead agency and Stockholm Convention focal point. Those people will be or who are all are involved in the negotiating or implementing the Stockholm Convention will be the primary responsible. Then stakeholders. Stakeholders may be like if a group of people or an association like politicians, ministers with the responsibility for multi-environmental agreements must be involved to encourage coordinated implementation of the Stockholm Convention with other relevant MEAs such as Basel or Rotterdam Convention, and to ensure appropriate high level of commitment. In addition, these stakeholders may need to seek further commitment from legislative bodies as well. Then the major task, first one is like establishment of a project coordinating unit and a national coordination committee, that is PCU and NCC. Then project plan and organization, then public information and awareness raising. Then how we will approach for this phase one? Initiate a planning and inception meeting of a key government department and agencies to establish the planning coordination unit and identify the national program coordinator. Finalize membership of the PCU and assemble preparatory documents and information for members, including a draft agenda. Convene the first PCU meeting to set out and agree rules for the development of the NIP, outline technical aims and objectives, assign responsibility for areas of NIP assessment and development. Hold first NCC meeting to brief stakeholders on the convention and its information, requirement, rationale, and objectives. Present the project plan for NIP development. Get agreement on the proposed project plan for the development of the NIP, consulting with all members of the PCU. And if it is not complete in the first meeting, and if it is necessary, go for the second meeting to finalize this plan. Then develop a mechanism to engage stakeholders throughout the development and implementation of the NIP. For reviewing and updating the NIP, revise the above as appropriate. Whenever we are reviewing or updating, the same process will do. So which one we need, so we can revise that method. Then phase 2, establishment of POPs inventories and assessment of national infrastructure and capacity. To obtain, review, and summarize information on the sources, use, and production of POPs, including gathering information on presence of in stockpiles and wastes, and determine the baseline situation. To identify gaps in resources, capacity, and knowledge that prevent the complete assessment of the status of POPs. To identify whether the current situation meets the requirement of Stockholm Convention and other chemicals and waste convention if possible, and identify area where it does not. To fulfill reporting obligation under the Stockholm Convention. To identify technical and financial assistance needed to complete NIP development, review, or updating, as well as implementation. To facilitate coordination and integration with national sustainable development, chemicals management, and pollution control policies. To facilitate coordination as appropriate with activities addressing like other MEAs like Rotterdam and Basel Convention. Then who will be the primary responsibility for this? Under the guidance and supervision of the National Coordination Committee, the PCU would be responsible for coordinating and managing the development of background information and option for defined areas using task team and other expert assistance from outside as appropriate. Then the major task like review task required for this phase and consider whether training or external assistance is required. If national profile has not been prepared, then during the NIP development, we have to prepare this national profile as well. Then initiate or update the assessment of intentionally produced chemical and unintentionally produced chemical. Then conduct preliminary inventories of the presence of the new POPs within the country and then decide on which one need a national inventory. Conduct a national survey as appropriate. National surveys may be conducted as an additional mechanism to fill in data gaps on the presence of new POPs in a country. As some POP appear in more than one category, ensure that all relevant information is considered for these chemicals. Then review and evaluating the legal framework and institutional infrastructure with reference to meeting the requirement of the Stockholm Convention. Then clearly identify gaps such as available information, deficiency in technical expertise, and enforcement capacity as they become apparent. Formulate a list of priority areas or areas of great concern. Maybe it may be like contaminated areas will be there that have been uncovered during the process of the assessment. Assemble and summarize available data on levels of POPs chemicals in the environment and human exposure. Identify and evaluate any relevant regional, sub-regional, and international agreements. Then the method and approach. The main effort for data collection, generation, and assembly will be the responsibility of the task teams. Periodic briefings and meetings of the PCU could be used to ensure that all members are aware of the progress being made and to review the aims and finding of the task as they progress. The NCC should be kept involved with the development in line with the mechanism agreed previously. Then phase 3, priority assessment and objective setting. To develop country-specific criteria for prioritizing health and environmental impacts of POPs. To assess the available information from phase 2 to identify priority areas for attention. To identify data and other gaps in the information available that prevent a full priority assessment from being carried out. When undertaking NIP review and updating to reassess national priorities and make adjustments accordingly. To set appropriate short and long-term objectives, goals, and measurable indicators for the management of POPs in compliance with the Stockholm Convention, as well as using the Rotterdam or Basel Convention as a means for the identification and proactive or preventive action to effectively manage chemicals with POPs-like characteristics. Then who will be the primary responsibility? The PCU would undertake the development of criteria and review the work done to establish or update the baseline situation. Preliminary recommendation made by the PCU would be reviewed by the NCC to help formulate the priorities for the countries and to help set objectives. Then the task. Develop a criteria or indicators that would help to show whether findings from data gathering and other POPs related information indicate the likely existence of a significant problems. Review the findings of the legislative review carried out in phase 2 against the requirement of the Stockholm Convention to identify those areas where changes are required. Review the institutional framework to identify possible priority areas requiring strengthening and improvement. Based on the review, formulate priorities for actions to meet the country's obligation under the Stockholm Convention. Carry out initial objective setting exercise. Then, method and approach. First, the PCU would develop a list of possible criteria for assessing the priority of POPs related issue. Then the PCU would initiate review of the data gathered in the phase 2 and provide an initial assessment of the key areas and priorities using the criteria developed. The PCU would draw up a list of possible objectives for POPs management and implementation of the convention. The NCC would review the possible objectives and set out preliminary objectives for the short and longer term for POPs management and the development of the NIP. Then the final one, formulation of national implementation plan. To identify to identify and gather information on possible options for management of POPs to meet obligation under the Stockholm Convention with an indication of the scope of applications, limitation, cost and benefits of each, to prioritize the options available and actions necessary to meet the requirement of the Stockholm Convention and country objectives, to draw up an initial or updated draft NIP suitable for the country to meet the need of the Stockholm Convention and its country-specific objectives and priorities, coordinated with national activities on sustainable development and related goals were appropriate, to identify requirements for assistance in the completion of additional statement and information gathering to complete and implementation of the NIP. Then primary responsibility. Task with the expertise on certain posts, because like maybe we have like different types of posts and each post have like we have different expertise. Like maybe for unintentional posts like dioxin or furan and PCBs, maybe we have a different, and for the pesticide and for the PBD. So each expertise will be the responsible for identifying management option and drafting corresponding action plans under the supervision of the PCA. Then task, first one, assessment of option. Based on the result of the review carried out in phase 3 of the current situation in the country, we have to make the assessment. Then the NIP development, review and updating. Each selection of the initial NIP or last updated version should be reviewed to identify areas that will need to be updated. Then the sections on the assessment of the POP issue in the country will need to be updated to reflect the findings obtained in the phase 2 and 3 during the NIP review and updating process. Action plans for new POPs should establish linkage and synergies with activities that are contained in the initial or last updated NIP, making sure to avoid duplication of efforts. Then drafting of the NIP. Based on the above finding, detailed drafting should be prepared by mentioning the country's current status and the gaps need to be filled. Then a logical framework matrix may be useful here to show clearly what steps must be taken and what actions and resources are needed to make them possible. Then finally, the detail all in any section will depend on the situation in each country, prioritize set, country objective and scale of actions required to meet the convention obligation. Then method and approach. Developing action plans, identifying and evaluating option and drafting the NIP would be the responsibility of the task team and individual from the PCO. Then careful coordination would be required for common areas such as legal and enforcement mechanism, import and export issues, and the identification, classification, and management of wastes. Then phase 5, that is NIP endorsement and submission. To communicate clearly the scope, need for, purpose, and value of the NIP. Then to consult with all the stakeholders on the proposed NIP as appropriate. To finalize the NIP, taking account of stakeholders' input. To secure political support and endorsement by the relevant authority for the NIP and its implementation. Then transmit an agreed NIP to the conference of parties of the convention within 2 years of entry into force of the convention for the party. To establish and put into practice a mechanism for periodic updating and review of the NIP in accordance with the Article 7, then to establish a mechanism for reporting to the COP as required. So the responsible people will be the PCU, NCC, and politicians and officials with the responsibility for international legal agreements and national environmental policy and sustainable development have the primary responsibility for this space. Relevant authorities will need to endorse the final version of the NIP transmitted to the COP. Then the task, produce suitable communication materials to convey the contents, intentions, and need for and benefits of the NIP for stakeholders. Review the feedback from the consultation and adapt the NIP as appropriate. Ensure that The NIP includes mechanism for periodic review and updating as needed and appropriate in accordance with the Article 7. Submit the revised NIP to those who must endorse it and commit it to implementation. Design and set up a mechanism and structure for implementation of the NIP. Submit the NIP to the conference of parties as required. Then the methods and approach. The PCU with the guidance from the NCC should identify a mechanism to be used for consultation on the NIP and draft suitable background information to accompany the NIP to explain the reason for its development, its aim and implication. The PCU should carry out the consultation as agreed and gather and assess any resulting feedback. The PCU should amend the NIP taking account of feedback where necessary and present the revised NIP to the NCC. The PCU and NCC would agree a mechanism to secure the necessary endorsement for the NIP and measures needed to implement it. The NIP must be transmitted through the official contacts or through the country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs with covering letter addressed to the head of the secretariat. So these all are for the NIP development, which is a long story. So I will give like a brief in conclusion. Initially, each country has to develop the geographical, economical, political status, because these status might be changed from country to country. Accordingly, they will have different industrial structure and country status as well. So in this manner, we have to find out major sources of this chemical to the various matrices. In sometimes some of these chemicals produced unintentionally during the preparation of other compounds as byproducts like dioxin or furan or dioxin like PCBs. Then like sometimes the compounds like polybrominated diphenyl ethers and polychlorinated biphenyls, which may be come to the environment through like various products like capacitors, PVs, toys, etc. So we have to make sure that because this compound maybe we are getting into our country either through import of these products from the outside. So we should aware about that. What are the exact content of this material, whether they have labeled it properly or we have to do some chemical testing or something like that. And some compounds like suppose for the pesticide, it has like all persistent organic pollutants. One of the like its most property, like it has a bioaccumulation property and it will persist in the environment. So maybe this compound we are not using currently, but it may be used in the past. So it may be still persisting in our soil or in the agricultural field. And maybe some compounds it will reach to our area through the transboundary movement as well. So because even we can found that some of the persistent organic pollutants have been traced out in the Arctic samples even before they are not used with this type of compounds. So by combining all these matter in our mind, and we should approach all these 5 steps, and we can easily means attainable our national implementation plan. So that's all for now. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.